Yeah, man. Wow.
All right, let's get this started. Everyone ready? All right, awesome. Welcome everyone to the Keepers Club podcast. This podcast is hosted by Keepers Club, a club that aims to keep young people like us away from negative activities such as smoking, drinking, doing drugs, and to help guide and uplift young adults like us who are tuning in, especially those who might be going through depression, loneliness, anxiety, and eventually suicidal thoughts. We have the privilege to have keepers that are willing to join this week's recording to share their experiences on how to stay healthy, happy, and motivated. Because at the end of the day, that's really the goal of the club for keepers like us to share with others, as one were to do with their own brother or sister. Just like the club slogan, I am my brother's keeper, we will do whatever it takes to share the love that we experienced individually and as a group. And we love to also, of course, thank the founding president of Keepers Club, who is none other than Apollo Kibaloy, for this opportunity to be a part of the Keepers Club podcast. So without further ado, let us introduce our keepers today. And let us try to go in order. But let us another keeper. But in the meantime, let us introduce the first one I remember at least. Alex, how are you, Alex?
Hi, Alex. What's up?
Oh, hi.
Kindly, when we say your name, kindly say hi. Kindly greet everyone, all the keepers in
Hi,
this
everyone.
podcast, and all the viewers. Let us also greet Tabitha, who just came in. Tabitha, how are you, Tabby?
What's up? Hello.
Welcome.
Welcome, indeed.
Let's show some love for Eric. How are you, Eric?
Hi, I'm good, Kia.
And also Gab.
Ooh,
How are
what's
you,
up?
Gab?
Hi,
Hi,
hello.
Gab.
How about all
Hi.
of their
Good
everyone
afternoon.
there in Virginia? Go Virginia, drive safe. Go Hannah.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah, kindly regards to everyone. Hi, Josh. How are you, Josh?
Uh,
Kapaisho. Also to Mama Jane. How are you, Jane? Keeper Anthony, Joseph, Brother Frank,
Hello, everybody.
Kuya Nolan, Kuya Alfie. Also there, Keeper Isaac and Keeper Isaiah. How are you there? You're good? Kindly say hi.
Hi, we're good.
Hi.
Oi, how old are you guys, by the way?
10. We're turning 11 this year.
11?
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, 11.
You guys are probably one of the very youngest keepers to ever attend a Keepers Club podcast. How does that feel, Isaac and Isaiah?
Exciting.
Exciting. Let's give another round of applause for Isaac and Isaiah. Woo!
go Isaac and Isaiah.
There you go. All right. So we'll be welcoming. Did I miss anyone, by the way? Go, Anthony. How are you, Anthony? Any? Oh, okay. Word. Go, Anthony. Love from Chicago. And the Keepers Club podcast. All right. So let's get this started. We'll accept more keepers that are jumping in. But in the meantime, once again, feel comfy, feel safe. Make sure you have a snack, some water, and let's have an awesome episode, everyone. All right. So I'm going to share this. Uh, all right. So hope everyone can see it, by the way. But welcome. This is the Keepers Club podcast, episode 6. So, for introduction, we just wanted to give a foundation to everyone tuning in, everyone who's first time joining or has no idea about what Keepers Club is all about, um, and this podcast, right? So, we are the Keepers Club podcast, and our goal is to really help, guide, encourage, and once again uplift the youth. We aim to do this on Zoom, YouTube, and Facebook. So we will talk more about that a little later on, about as to where we publish it. And the reason we do so is because I am my brother's keeper. So we aim to do this by gathering all the keepers, for now virtually, and maybe one day we'll get to do it in person, right? So we really hope to bond with them as well, to develop a relationship with one another, and as well to share once again our experiences, our love, you can say, with all the keepers here in the United States. So our experience so far, our experience so far is, as you can see, all these photos, it's been very great, right? So um, I'm about to ask maybe a couple of you how you guys think it's been so far, but um, on in my perspective, it's been very, very memorable, very unforgettable. You know, a lot of us were not living in the same states, but just this podcast alone, we're able to feel a little connected, right? And essentially, too, we're able to hear from one another. We're able to talk about different youth topics that all of us can really relate to at one time or another. And some things about, really staying motivated, about not giving up, about continuing to be strong, right? And even especially, essentially, it's the struggles of being a youth. So it's really a platform that we can talk about. Um, yes. So, does anyone like to share, by the way, their experience so far? How you think, in your opinion, how the podcast is going so far? Um, feel free to share your experiences as we also greet Sister Major and Erica, Keeper Major, Keeper Erica. How are you there? Hello, Ates. How are you?
Hi guys, Mr. Father. Nice to see you all again.
Ates. You too, Ate Erica. So,
Wait, Calvin, what do you mean by what's it called? Your experiences like from these past podcasts? You mean like the multiple podcasts we've had so far? Like how is it, or like this
yes,
one?
sir.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
okay,
So, very
I see.
brief too. Just like
Okay.
how you think it's been.
I think the podcast has been going great. Um, it's given a lot of us, especially the ones that are in Keepers Club that are kind of active, like a chance to connect and like once a week just to talk to each other. And also a lot of people don't have necessarily in their home someone they can really talk to a lot. So this is or like a lot of people need guidance in their lives, especially like you can't do it on your own. So yeah, you ask other people for help, and that's always a good thing to have, especially asking other people for advice and stuff. And yeah, I'm just saying that the whole podcast, i'm s- it's been going great, and it's in my opinion it's been really helpful to me, especially i'm
Hmm.
a i'm a really talkative person, so you know
Go, Gab.
like kind of a good thing for me.
Thank you for sharing, Keeper Gab. Can we also ask how about you, Bara? Keeper Bara?
Um, Generally, I feel like this is a great opportunity for just like the keepers and just like other people as well, just to be able to talk, have the ability to um see and hear from others' experiences, especially like big topics like we had before. Um, and that can really help uh, a lot of them who might be going through things and just need a push. Sorry, I was eating earlier. But just really a push, and just to be able to connect with one another, like Gabriel was saying.
Yes, sir. Thank you for sharing, Keeper Bara. And likewise as well, it's really a privilege to have this podcast, right? So we're really likewise also once again it really is like an opportunity to share, and we're really happy to see one another as well. And what a nice looking episode it is so far. right? So let's get right into it once again. Let's have our icebreakers. So this is another exciting part about our podcast. So instead of 3, we have 4 today, right? So it's gonna be as simple as this. The first one is gonna be, would you rather? So I'll be sharing and stop sharing the screen. But would you rather is simple as this. Would you rather 1, and then it will be like um option 1 or option 2. So all you have to do is either do 1 or a peace sign, depending on your answer, right? So feel free to think of a question, but in the meantime, uh, let's do it like this. Um, would you rather, let's do this one. Would you rather eat at a fast food restaurant or sit down and eat at a dine-in? And go. 1, 2, 2, 1. Seen a lot of ones, twos. All right. Would you rather, uh, would you rather be in would you rather have it summer or winter right now? Or summer or winter? Go. Oh. All
Is
right.
there an option for spring? I mean, or like fall or something?
Yeah, go Gab.
Those are good months. I like those
I-
seasons.
Everybody likes those
In
seasons.
the meantime,
Yeah,
also
because they're not
welcome,
like extreme like summer and winter. They're just like intermediate.
welcome also to Keeper Val. Hello, Keeper Val. Nice seeing you. For you to join. So, all right. How about would you like to make up one, by the way? Would you rather?
Sure.
Go Gab.
All right. Would you rather? Let's see. Okay. Would you rather live in a 2-story mansion? Would you rather live in like a mansion that's really full? Like, there's so much rooms that you can't even get to or you don't even use. Or would you rather have like a small house, but it's cozy?
Okay, so mansion or cozy house?
Yeah,
Go.
mansion or cozy house. So
Ones, twos, 2 1s. Tabitha says 1. So nice of you to join, Tabby. How are you? We love to hear you, but if you're able to just like chat for now, it's all good too. Joseph says 1. All right, I'm a 1. Um, well, all right, awesome. That was Would You Rather, right? So we'll come up with a lot better examples, like hopefully next time. So, but in the meantime, finish the sentence is number 2. So I'll share the screen once again. This one is finish the sentence. So this one, I'm glad you were talking in the chat, by the way, Tabby and Joseph, because this one requires the chat box. All right, so feel free to have fun in the chat. And this one, for example, I'm gonna say finish the sentence. So it's gonna be, oh, how are you, Tabby? Kindly greet everyone, Tabby. So nice seeing you.
Hi guys.
Tabby,
What's
how are you?
up?
Hi.
Good. How are you guys?
All right.
I'm doing absolutely splendid,
I'm
if
doing
I'm being
good.
honest.
Doing good.
Go Tabby. Kindly everyone greet Tabby. Go Tabby from Chicago. Woo!
Oh, awesome.
All right, guys. This one, so like I said, requires a chat box. And this one is going to be I joined the podcast today because. So feel free to type in your answer, be as honest as you want. I don't think the viewers can see it, but I'll be reading them. And hopefully it's appropriate as well, right? So, for example, Eric says, I love talking. Tabitha says, why not, pretty much, right? And Josh says, I thought it'd be fun. Kind of elaborate too. Feel free to elaborate, be as honest as you want. For me personally, I'm gonna rate. We have an interesting topic today. How are you, Joseph? AC. Fellowship. Hey, good luck. a very nice opportunity to fellowship, to talk to one another. And while people are typing in the chat, once again, for all the viewers, we hope you're enjoying this episode so far. We hope you got to eat something nice, go somewhere fun, do something memorable, got to drink some water, and are having a very nice and blessed week, you can say so far. So thank you for tuning in, and love from the Keepers Club podcast here in the United States. All right, and I'm seeing other answers also, like I joined the podcast because my brother and sisters are here. Um, Also, I want to socialize. My uncles. Oh, yes, sir. Is anyone else? No. Can you guys still see me?
Yeah, we can see you, Kia.
Okay, thanks. My screen is like flashing black and white. So I'll try to continue. But all right, let's. How about on this one while I try to fix my screen? I finished the sentence. Something memorable I did this month is.
Wait, chat box or mic?
Yes, chat box. Sorry about the audio. All right, try to read all of them. So, went to Stranger Things store.
There's
Wow,
a
we were watching
Stranger
Stranger Things
Things store?
too.
Dude.
Go to
Oh my
California.
God.
You went to California, Eric?
Yeah, it was awesome. I really enjoyed it.
Go to California. Mm. Hey, how's the Stranger Things store, by the way?
Great.
Oh, no,
Marvelous.
Hotel.
Awesome.
Hmm.
Nice. 10 out of 10. Good recommend.
Who's Kenji?
The best.
Again.
Isaac! Isaiah! Night of
Amazing.
worship. What was that? All right. Wait. Let's move on to the next one. This one's called Pass the Ball. All right, so you're going to grab any item that you have, and then it's going to be like ball, right? So pretty much it'd be like this. Boom, ball, and then we're going to say something. This is an example, colors. So blue, and then pass it to Eric.
Wait, what'd you say? Like,
Never mind.
wait, we have a ball.
Yeah,
right?
we have a different organization.
It's a random thing.
Anything, literally anything.
Wait,
Go,
you
go, go,
mean, like,
keepers. All right.
Controller, so I just have a controller.
That was an example though, so it's all good. So this one is going to be colors again. All right, so this one, ball, right? And then green, and I'll pass it to AC.
Great. I pass it to Anthony. This is blue.
Go, go, go. Rapid fire.
Blue, I pass it to Alex.
Go, go, go.
Wait.
Go, go, go.
green? I pass it to Joseph.
I don't have a camera. Wait,
Oh,
Joseph. Okay.
White or green. Green, white. I'll pass it to Eric.
I got this white thing. It's very awesomely white and reflective. Oh wait, I'm gonna pass it to Bara.
Red. I'm gonna pass it to Gabriel.
Purple. I'm gonna pass it to Josh.
Woo.
Brown.
Go, Josh.
Pass it to Isaac.
Let's try to get everyone involved. And while you're passing the colors, while we figure out who has the ball, just wanted to read also the response for the viewers. Keeper Nolan also said, I joined the podcast
I'm
today.
gonna pass it to Noella.
Oh, go Kuya. But go Keeper Nolan. Keeper Kuya Nolan to really learn something new and to help and in hopes of also becoming a better person. That's very right. Also, you know, with this podcast, we're able to really train also and to really learn something new, learn from others. So, how was that game, by the way? The pass the ball. It's a little more hectic when there's like more people. But it's a good thing, right? So, oh. And while we move on to the next icebreaker, does anyone know Patricia? Patricia?
Yes, Calvin, just let her in.
Ah, word. Okay, we'll greet.
She's my guest.
We'll greet him, her.
It's a her. It's a
Okay.
girl.
Yeah.
Oh,
Gracias.
muchas gracias, kuya. And while Keeper Patricia is connecting to her audio, let's all get ready to say hi also as well to her. I think she's brand new actually, right? So we're really happy to see that the podcast is growing, you can say. But let's also check out the next icebreaker while she's connecting to the audio. The next icebreaker is called Drop the Mic. So pretty much it's like show and tell. So does anyone have anything that they're like almost dying to like tell someone about? Right? That's pretty much it. Like show and tell, and then feel free. Like if you're not able to really share something that you want to share, we have this podcast also. If you want to talk about it, you're really excited about it, you feel the need to tell someone, you can go right ahead. But as we're preparing for that, hello, Keeper Patricia. How are you?
Hello, welcome
Hi, welcome.
We
to the.
we love to see
Keepers
you,
Club
Keeper
podcast.
Patricia. But in the meantime, everyone kindly greet her.
Hello, what's up?
So let's
And
all give a
waiting.
round of applause for her. Hello,
Round of
Keeper
applause
Patricia.
indeed.
We'd love to see you. We'd love to hear from you. But if you're not available to show your video or to speak, just know that we're really happy for you to join this podcast. You know, so we're always welcome to new faces, and we're really glad once again that you're able to take time out of your day to join. So love from the Keepers Club podcast, and once again, everyone, let's give a round of applause and wave to Keeper Patricia. How are you? Go Texas! All right, or well, I think I heard Texas clapping, but all right. But once again, greetings to all the keepers, new faces. Does anyone have anything they want to share? It's called drop the mic. It's like show and tell.
Okay, I have something I want to share.
Yeah, go.
What I would like
You
to
got it.
share is now it's not like something that's extremely extraordinary, but this is a rock. I don't know if you can see it. I got it from the beach. I really don't know why I got it, but it looked really cool. And now here's the thing about this rock. Is there's like it's like glittery. I don't know how, but there's like reflective stuff on it, and it looks really cool in real life, but you can't really see it on the video camera. But yeah, that's I just had it next to me and it's cool and I kept it for some reason. But yeah.
Hey, go Bonso finding rocks at the beach and sharing it for show and tell. Woo! Go Eric. All right, so just know if you ever have something you want to share, just let us know, or even right now, just like Keeper Calvin, stop. I have something to share, right? Anyone else, by the way? But thank you for sharing, Bunso. Go New
Are we
York.
doing show and tell?
Yeah, go Gab. Well, we accept
Oh,
this
no.
Keeper Cass. Keeper Cass.
Okay, I'll do
Go Gab.
a show and tell. I have this big 3 liter gallon of or 3 liter water bottle.
Wow, that's real. I never
I'm-
seen a water bottle that
I'm
big.
kind of, I don't know if I'm sick, but it kind of feels like it, and I don't know. I'm just like, I'm really lazy to get up and get water, so
Fill up on that fluid.
it's
You
good
know
to
what I'm
have.
saying?
Hey, go Gab with a 3-liter water bottle. Thank you for sharing.
You have a very big water bottle too, Kuya Calvin.
All right. But in the meantime, it looks like Keeper Cass has left the group chat, but hopefully she joins again. All right. In the meantime, though, let us continue. So we hope you enjoyed those icebreakers, And feel free to let us know if you ever have an icebreaker in mind or you wanted to maybe like revise it so it could be a lot more interactive. But we hope you enjoyed it once again because it truly is a way to get a feel of all the keepers that are joined, that are in this podcast to really get like the feel, the atmosphere of everyone here, and to once again like break the ice, right? So let's move on. So let's move on to our disclaimer. So just keep in mind, everyone, in this podcast episode, we're recording. We're really our rated everyone podcast, right? So um, everything that we say, let's also everything that we discuss, that we share, let's make sure that it's pleasing to the ear, and kindly avoid cursing or sharing anything traumatic, and of course, um, prevent from spreading anything that goes against our slogan, which is "I am my brother's keeper." Right? So, really just want to make sure and just know that we're really a friendly podcast once again, and that we'll be posting this right on YouTube for the world to see, to hear. And with that being said, do we have a thumbs up from everyone? Is that okay?
You got
Thumbs
my
up.
thumbs up. Yes.
Very nice. All right. Nice thumbs up, by the way. All right. Thank you guys. Much love. All right. So, hoping you can still see the screen. Our podcast episode today, it's called The Different Types of Love. So, the different types of love. And just like this, it says, all we need is love, because that really is true, right? It's also something we learned from Keepers Club. So, to get more into it, let's also have um, let's go to our question. So the official question for this week's podcast question is, what are the many types of love that exist in the world? How are they similar slash differentiate, and why should keepers around the world be aware of them? So I will type this question in the chat, but feel comfy to really answer it. So there's really no wrong answer, and we are really hoping to kind of share not only our experiences but also like our interpretation of what we assume is love. And just know too, it's not only um just one type of love, but there are three main types of love. So we wanted to also have like some kind of foundation and research once again to have like a backbone of our topic. And once again, the three main types that we um that like exists and we really wanted to talk about is eros love, which is the romantic love. Two is filial love, which is the love for friends and family, and agape love, the third one, which is the love of God. Right. So feel free to let me know if you want me to share the screen always, so we could kind of look back at these. But these are the ones that we want to really remind everyone of: romantic love, love for friends and family, and the love of God, right? So some subtopics about love that we can talk about. Um, I'll mention a few, but I know you guys can read, right? So, for example, what are the commonalities of the different types of love? What's your, what are your goals in love? Why should we love our neighbors and enemies? Um, is there anything that we should remember in terms of our choice to love or not? Why does faith play a role in loving? And especially too, if you're able to really put in your answer, like why keepers should reflect from time to time about their goals in the topic of
Hello,
love.
Patricia.
So, but once again, let us greet Keeper Patricia. How are you, Keeper Patricia?
Hello. What's
Everyone,
up?
give me
Welcome.
a round of
Hello.
applause and
Oh,
Hi, Patricia.
Hi,
Thank
hi.
you for joining.
hi.
Hi.
yes, hello, Keeper Patricia. So once again, we're really happy for you to join, and if you're available to speak or to even share your video, we love for that to be possible. But if not, just know once again, we're really happy for you to join again, And goalkeeper Patricia, love from the Keepers Club podcast. So, all right. Hope you guys are enjoying the music, by the way. Um, but once again, this is our question: what are the many types of love that exist in the world? Which are these? And how are they similar and differentiate? And why should keepers should be aware of them? Why should we be aware of them? Because our topics always we really try to make them relatable to the youth, right? Because we all struggle with them one time or another, right? And this is something that we're able to really reflect on, something that we should think about time to time. And once again, feel free. The floor is open. I'm willing to answer as well, but I will type the question in the chat. And just know, once again, there is no wrong answer. Feel comfy. We're all brothers and sisters here in this Keepers Club. In Keepers Club. So I will be typing the question. So would anyone like to volunteer to go first? Maybe kind of set the standard almost as the first one to answer.
I think like a good basis of the types of love that exist were the ones that you showed, which was the romantic love, love for friends, and love for family. And I can't, I don't know how you said it, last one. But I feel like the one for the love for friends and love for family, there's like, even though there's love, of course, there's levels of love, or how strong you love this person, or could be a friend, could be a family. And I think that should also be something you can differentiate as well, is the love for friends and love for family. Um, Hopefully everybody has people around them that they can call family and friends. But I feel like there can be a difference between that. And sometimes friends are more, you love them more, or family, and that could also be something else. But I think that that's really about it.
Goalkeeper Bara, thank you for sharing. Go
Okay.
VP. All right.
I'll go
Can I go
next.
next? Oh, you can go.
Okay, thank
Go
you.
Bonzos.
All right. How are the three types of love similar and differentiate? Okay, so the three types of love that you listed. So you mentioned romantic love, love for family and friends, and then love of God, or basically whatever belief you have, like if in a higher being. But so I think the way they're similar is that they each have attachments to something. Because if you think about it, when you love something, you're attached to it. Like when you love a God, you love that you're attached to that God. When you love your family, your friends, you're attached to them. So and the other question, why should keepers be around the world be aware of them? I'd say be aware of the other like how to differentiate the different types of love, because sometimes love can leave you into the wrong direction if you're not careful. Like you can have this kind of love, like for example, this is like a really common one, like people will fall in, like people will just like say they're in love with each other, and then it's like it's like really just for money. So like you have to differentiate, are you loving for money, or are you loving for love? So it's good to differentiate that for them, like in the sense for like what benefits you, you know.
Go Gab. Thank you, Gab, for sharing. And you're right. That was really true. Also about like, you know, if someone else also wanted to like elaborate what Gab was talking about like someone's true intentions of loving, right? Or really keeping in mind of the fact that love is like an attachment. So it really is like your choice to what you're willing to be attached to, or what you're willing to invest your time, your effort, your energy to, right? So, but regardless, would anyone else like to answer? Also,
Uh,
maybe. Oh,
I
oh yes.
can go.
Oh,
Oh, who was that? Who was that? You can go.
you go, Keeper Anthony,
Oh,
you go.
uh, is that Eric? Okay, so I can answer for the differentiate. So, because the question asks, how are the three types of love differentiate? So, I believe that we're we're one, but we have three faces. Yeah. So one for each type of love. So in the romantic love, you have a different face. For family and friends, you have a different one, and for God, another one. Like I saw this in the post, but it's really replaying in my mind again because it's like everybody acts differently towards someone that's if you act differently for someone that you are physically attracted to, I guess, or romantic love. You act differently with your friends and family, and you act differently when you're trying to have that connection with God. And I really think that they're very different because they say love makes you do things, and love for your first significant other, you know we've seen people fall like crazy in love. So, they do crazy things for love. For family, you would also do the same thing for them. And, for God, for those who, really wants to surrender themselves, they also do at some point do something for that love. And it's a great thing. I mean, it's not bad to have the different, to treat people different based on how you are connected with them. But it's just love. It makes you like do how you feel at the moment based on who you're with or who you love, I guess. I mean, it's great to have love, to be loved, but it's just the matter of who, you I mean, that's all I guess I can put towards the idea. The fact that who you are loving and what that kind of love make you do. Yeah, thank you.
thank you, Keeper Anthony. And likewise, of course, I agree. So good looks, and go Texas. How about how about New York? Go Bunso.
Yeah. So I was listening to also Gab and Keeper Anthony and like about the commonalities of love. Each kind of love, right? What's it? In love, in English you have only one word for love, right? But the thing is, love is more broader than that. So like that's a limitation of the English language. But in Greek per se, that's where this eros love comes from, filial love and agape love. The ways in which they're similar is that they all involve having a profound affection towards one another. Like, love is something mutual, right? You're not the only one who benefits from it, but the other person also benefits from it. It's like a relationship a little bit. And that's like each kind of love has that. Whether you're loving someone like your wife or husband, or you're loving your friend or your parents, or you love God, it's all having a mutual benefit to it. The way in which the love like differentiates from each other is like who it's directed towards. Like, for instance, you're not gonna have the same love towards your wife as you will to like your friend, right? You're not gonna have the same love
I agree.
towards God. Yeah, you're not gonna have the same love towards God towards like your friend. It differentiates there, but they're all having like they're all good because they all involve like caring for one another, having affection for one another, and that's why like you should all be aware about it because it's just more beneficial for society, for the world, for yourself if you have love within you. And sometimes like it's hard to love because like maybe there's somebody who hurt you, but you can still love them back and like it. I don't know how to explain it because I've done it before and it kind of like frees you, but yeah, that's my take. We'll talk about it later.
You're right. Thank you, Eric. That's a very nice take. Also, because like also it's like not we're not talking about like love also in like a very generic way, but also like really being willing to love our enemies, essentially, our neighbors, our enemies. What if they betray us? What if they break our heart, for example, right? Um, but before anyone else answers, we just like to take this opportunity also to greet Keeper Cass. How are you, Keeper Cass?
Ooh, hello,
Right? So we love
welcome.
to kindly say hi and everyone kindly wave. Keeper Cass, go Keeper Cass.
What's up?
Hi.
Um, are you able to kindly say hi, Keeper Cass? We love to hear from you, and we thank you for. Yes, how are you? How's your day?
I'm good.
Go Keeper Cass. Yeah, thank you for joining. And can we ask like where you're where you're like from in the United States? Love from Chicago, by
Michigan.
the way.
Michigan.
Michigan. Go Michigan. Word. So yeah, lots of love for all the keepers here in the Keepers Club.
Woo!
And
Michigan.
also all the keepers from New York, Texas, Virginia,
Yeah, New York.
California. Kindly
Nice.
greet all the new faces. Go Keeper Cass. And also Keeper Joseph. I like your picture. Go Joseph.
I don't have a camera, so it works.
All right.
It's improvising, you know?
So yeah, always right. But anyway, Keeper Cast. Our topic today, in case you haven't known, we're talking about the different types of love. Right. So we're always really trying to talk about something that the youth can relate to, or even are struggling with. So feel free to jump in. I can type the question in the chat once again. But if anyone else is willing to answer their definition or their interpretation, or maybe something that not many keepers realize about the many different types of love, or well, the three. So, Go Keepers Podcast. All right. Does that mean I'll share? I'm willing to share. Was the music good, by the way? Just making sure.
I'm loving the music. It's
Yes.
calming, bro.
Great.
Loving it.
Wait,
Word.
can I add on something? One more.
Yes, please. Go Keeper
Okay,
Gab.
so, in differentiating, why like you should, like, why keepers should like learn how to differentiate love, because sometimes, like, love evidently is like, it's defined as, it's basically identified as, it's not even about lust. It's not even about, doing stuff with people. Sometimes it's love because of companionship or something like that. I don't know how to explain it, but it's good to differentiate that, because sometimes that's why a lot of, I'd say, divorces or breakups happen in this world, is because they can't differentiate what's lust and what's love. Same thing with God. Some people just go to God and they say, "Oh, I go to church and that means I love God." That doesn't mean you love God. That means you're just a church goer. So you should, like, it's always good to learn how to differentiate what's love and what's not love, yeah, like, for something with your family, you love your family, but, like, do you really love your family? Like, you send them money, but do you talk to them every day? Do you, like, you call them, say, "Hey, how are you doing?" Like, that's, in my opinion, that's what love is, or like why you should differentiate love. Learn how to differentiate it.
Thank you, Keeper Gab. Thank you for sharing, for elaborating, for even answering twice, right? Um so I'm going to share unless anyone else wants to go. But also Keeper Vince. How are you, Keeper Vince? Thank you for joining. Everyone kindly say hi to
Hi, Keeper Vince.
Hey Vince.
What's up?
Even
Hello,
Hi,
welcome.
Vince.
Hi Kuya.
Go Kuya. All right, so um, feel free to jump in also after my answer, Keeper Cass or Keeper Tavi, right? So other than that, just like the other keepers are saying, it really is. At first, I thought like I didn't believe it when I first heard all we need is food, water, and love, right? And to me, it sounded like so cheesy. But if you really think about it, love is something that we need, right? We're human. We're human. We're social interaction. We need social interaction, right? We need. We want to feel like we need to feel like interaction with others, whether it's those around us, our family, our friends, our loved ones, our other keepers, right? And just know too that the commonalities between those loves, right? Between the love of family and friends, the love of, our romantic love, the love of God, right? The commonality is it really is where you're using your freedom of choice to really prioritize, right? Like what kind of love are you willing to prioritize? And of course you can do all three, right? But there's also a choice, and it really does take a part of you to really dedicate yourself to that love, right? For example, if you have a significant other, you're really you're really you really want to spend time with them. You really want to spend, not only time but like money or like your energy. You want to entertain them, right? Even for family and friends. What if you're with a gathering with them, right? Or what if you want to hang out with them? What if you go on vacation with them, right? And also too, it applies for the love of God, right? If you're willing to, for example, for all of these kinds of love, you can also sacrifice essentially one of those loves for another, right? So what if you're willing to sacrifice all of your time for the love of God? That's your freedom of choice, right? Or you can also use your choice to not love your to not love your friends, not love your family, or to not love a significant other, and to really prioritize it to something that you really value, right? So with that being said, also it depends on who you love, how you love, why you love, right? And essentially too, like where you put your love, right? um, Once again, it depends who you love. Like you can choose to love your family, you can choose to love like your best friend, you can choose to love someone you're dating, right? But it also depends on your quality of love, right? And um even too, are you willing to love your neighbors, which is not your legit neighbor, but spiritually speaking, are you willing to love someone that you see someone on the street, or someone that you're in the same place with? Are you willing to love them? You're not gonna segregate them because of their race, their color, their social interaction, how they look, how they were brought up, right? And it's not always just about like, oh, someone needs help and you're gonna help them. No, it's also something we learn from keepers, from this keepers club, right? Are we able to really love not only our neighbors but to even love our enemies? Are we able to love them even if they betray us, even if they forget us, even if they were to do something that, like to break a promise or to separate from us, right? And it's not even about like treating our enemy as our best friend, but it's really about not being filled with hatred, right? We don't pray that they'll die in a car accident or something, right? We don't pray that they experience the same kind of pain and heartbreak that they put us through, but we pray that they also will we pray that they'll be enlightened, you can say, right? Because if they're willing to do something like that, maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe they're going through something in their family. Maybe they're just not happy, right? So it's more of a reason to really love your neighbors, especially love your enemies. We never know we never know what they've been going through, right? So once again, I just want to emphasize too, it's something that I really love, that I really learned in Keepers Club. It's something that we want to share. We can't help but just keep it to ourselves. We want to share it, right? Because if you're able to love your enemies, then you really have like a divine peace within you, right? And sometimes it depends too where you get that love from, where you receive that love, where you're able to give it, right? Maybe some people get it from the filial love, the eros love, or a lot of times people can get that God, from the love of God, right? So, I thank you for listening to my answer. But before I keep talking, welcome also Keeper Frank, and feel free to jump in for anyone else who wants to answer, elaborate, or maybe talk about another subtopic. Go Keepers.
Something I wanted to mention real quick. Excuse me, I've been kind of busy, but I just popping in real quick just to say another thing I want to mention. Love also makes you very irrational, not regardless of the kind of love, because it's the love that makes you say, I don't care what it takes to risk it. I'll do what I can to either protect, provide for this person. Like, for example, and this goes for all kinds of love. If it's your partner, maybe you're willing to leave your house to move in with them. If it's your family, you're willing to like put aside all of like going out, stuff like that, focus on work, maybe provide for them. And then even the love of God, it's like agape love. It's love never ending, love without condition. It's because it's not even you loving God, but how God loves you back. Because there's this one parable. It likened Jesus Christ onto a shepherd, and who had a flock of 100 sheep, and one sheep was missing. So he left the 99 sheep that were safe to go look for the one that was lost, because he knew that they were in danger. And same thing, if you remember the story of the prodigal son, it was a father with two sons. One of them stayed loyal, stayed faithful to the father, lived in his house, and then the other son used his money, used his inheritance to like go out party, do stuff like this, so much that he ended up sleeping with pigs, and then realized humbled himself down, saying, it's better I live in my father's house as a servant than, live here with these pigs, stuff like that. And then when he came home, to his surprise, and to everyone's surprise, he was embraced with open arms, saying, the son that was lost is finally home safe. So it's that kind of, there's a song called Reckless Love, where it describes the lyrics to the chorus. It's the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. It reaches me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. And it's really like, when you look at that, you're so confused, because a lot of the times people would rather cut their losses and build on what they have. But it's sort of that reaching out to someone who isn't safe, and then bringing them back home. And that's why we're here. That's the whole purpose of Keepers Club, because we know that the world is not a safe place. The world that people have made for themselves isn't a safe place. So sort of, especially when it comes to the youth, you're still young, you're trying to find out who you are, you're very susceptible to like falling in with a bad crowd, falling in with the wrong people, just to feel a sense of home, just to feel that you belong with someone. But we're here to show you that it doesn't have to be that way. We're here to show you that there are people you can feel safe with, who will treat you like family, whether or not we know you. So that's all I'd like to say about that.
Very nice. Thank you, Keeper Jane. Very great reminder, and also a different take as well on it. Right?
I like
So,
that, Jane. I like what you said, because that kind of aspect of love, like showing it undeservedly to someone who wants it, is like, it's in our culture, from what I've seen, it's like kind of a foreign thing. It's sometimes, I mean, I've talked about it before to other people, and they call it like stupid, but when you think about it, it's like, when you forgive someone who's really like needing it, like they did wrong against you, but they want to reconcile with you, like when you love them and forgive them, it kind of like frees you from, like the bitterness that you'd have towards them because of what they did to you. It frees you from all the like hatred. And like for if you don't forgive them, it's kind of like you're holding on to them. Like you're holding on to what they did for you and like you can't let it go. And I don't know why because it's happened to me before as well, but like when you just let it all go and forgive them, it's like a huge weight is just like pushed off your chest. Like you don't gotta worry about it anymore. But you
Yeah.
guys are good now, and like
Mhm.
it's really something good. But like it's not talked about a lot. Like showing love undeservedly, forgiving someone undeservedly. But it's really a lot better to build a relationship upon that instead of just like throwing them out, never forgiving them, just holding on to like hatred, but just letting it go through forgiving them and loving them. So yeah.
Thank you, Keeper Eric. And um, yeah, we're happy too for people to elaborate on each other's answers, right? We just also like to hear from other keepers who haven't answered, or maybe once again, especially the new faces, if you're going to jump in, like Keeper Cass, Keeper Patricia. Of course, it's up to you. And also, once again, for any of the keepers that have been here, maybe you want to share your interpretation of love, especially what you learned through Keepers Club, for example. Right? So the floor is open. Hope everyone's enjoying the music, by the way. Let me know too. Feel free to personal message me if you want me to send something, like in terms from the PowerPoint, if you want me to share it again. Um,
I just want to say that I think like without love in the world, there'd be no there'd be no world. I'd say like literally, like if you're, let's say, if your parents didn't love each other, they wouldn't have you. If you got injured and your parent didn't love you, you would like most likely be injured for the rest of your life, or almost if it's a worst case scenario, then you're dead. And I feel like there's two things that drive this world in people's actions. Is I think it's either hate or love. If you're doing something like you're working every day nonstop, 24 hours grinding for money, and you don't like it, that's hate. Like you're working for hate. It's not for love. But if you're like working for a passion, like, oh, I'm doing music and I really love music, and I'm working in it. So like your work is fueled by either love or hate. So I think that you should always like have some, it's always good to have some aspect of love in your life, whether it be to God or it could be to another person, or just even your family or family members or friends. Because like I said, like I don't think the world can function without love.
Thank you, Keeper Gab. And thank you for
Keeper
sharing.
Calvin.
That's me.
Hey, Keeper Calvin. How about correction and discipline?
Oh, yes. I'm glad you mentioned that, Keeper Alfie. Right? Because just like I was saying, like in terms of like music, for example, right? Through music also, that's something where I've learned like correction and discipline, right? Like if I didn't play it correctly, or I don't have the right chords, I didn't practice, right? So maybe at first, for any of us who have been musicians as well, or for anything that they received correction and discipline, maybe at first it's like our pride is attacked, right? We feel like almost offended. But when we really see through like a spiritual side, or we really like we level up in our maturity in really realizing the correction and discipline and why they did that, it really is a form of love, right? So it really is like a way for them to love us, because they don't want to see us fail. They don't want us to give up, right? And just know too that um sometimes that love it's not from them. It is really like a love that bonds us together, right? It's we're sometimes we're all working toward the same goal, right? Sometimes we're all striving to please the same person. Maybe we're striving to please our parents. Maybe we're striving to please, um, like a friend, like maybe on his birthday or something, right? But even too, same thing goes for the agape love, to really strive to please God, right? And also too, just like I think last thought before someone else can answer, like comparing the eros love, um, filial love, right, and the agape love. Truly, if you think about it, like the agape love is like, if anything, it's the unconditional love that it's like the man upstairs has for us, right? Because the other ones, there's like a string attached, but the unconditional love is one that comes from above, right? It not only the unconditional, but it's also like the highest form of it, right? So it really is something that not only we learn, but especially experience, that we can really feel. So we just really thank Keepers Club once again for really sharing that love to us, for reminding us always about that, um, and also to remember that correction, discipline is a form of love, right? So, but enough of me. How about anyone else's response? They want to talk about that, or um, maybe maybe something that like we haven't talked about yet, like a different interpretation of it, or maybe things to remember, like looking forward about love, like some things to remember, to keep in mind, to never forget, especially for all the keepers that are listening in, or for those who may be struggling with their relationships today. Once again, how about any of the keepers we haven't heard from, or especially any that haven't spoken up yet? We love to hear everyone, even if it's like a lot of keepers in one episode. But don't be afraid, and we love to hear you. We love to, we thank you for joining. So, how about you, Keeper Hannah, Keeper Isaac, Keeper Alex, Keeper
Keeper Isaiah
Joseph?
should go.
Oh, you should.
Yes, yes, yes.
Hey, go, Keeper Isaac. Listen to your uncle, right? Yeah. Go, Keeper Isaac, Isaiah. Wait, did you purposely mute and hide your video? Let us know. You have instruction, you have correction and discipline also, almost from.
Did it. I was giving the fun to my friend because my uncle suggested that she should go, but he's not trying to go. They said you. I was like, no, he thought I said you. He said
Hey,
you.
thank you for all the keepers tuning in, by the way. And I'm sure you're just as excited to hear from either Keeper Isaac or Keeper Isaiah as well.
Isaiah, go. I don't know what to do.
All right, while they're figuring that out, though, feel free to jump in. But once again, for anyone else who haven't answered, we'd love to hear you.
I'll be funny.
Now, chance, it's been, I think we're even over time, right? So, or anything that you've learned from maybe experience, or your experience in Keepers Club, maybe things you didn't realize until we got to discuss it in this podcast.
Personally, I feel like at least this session today really brought up the idea of reflection, and a lot of you were talking about is stuff that really made me think about the past and before, but a lot of it is love is emotional and stuff like that, but after what you guys have talked about and all of that, it's really, it's like opening my eyes for the first time or something like that. It's something beautiful, and it's also one of the things, I don't remember who exactly said, but like to forgive or to move on, but to also not hold a grudge, to love one, uh, and to always move on as well. Um, and also the one I think you were talking about discipline, correction, or discipline, something like that. Um, Crazy part about that is like realizing those who want to help you are there. They're giving you the time, and that's meaningless. Not meaningless. How would you like priceless? Time just moves on, and people don't have that luxury. And just for that person to give you that time, to be there for you, it shows a lot. And to not acknowledge that, um, and I have to acknowledge that a lot more personally. Um, and that's just things. Um, that's also you have to realize eventually, and now I'm realizing it myself.
Wow, thank you
That
for
was really
sharing.
sweet. If I could just chime in for a bit, that was really sweet, Bara. That was a really nice reflection. But another thing that I'm really glad we had a chance to talk about is because I feel like a lot of the time people tend to ignore the topic of love. And not ignore it necessarily because they want to, but ignore it because they don't know how to define it. Because I remember being as young as like 12 or 13, and then someone bring up the topic, what is love? How do you define that? And it was a very like, what's the word? Not overbearing, but like sort of like intimidating topic to talk about because I feel a lot of the time, even when people are older, they don't get to experience, or at least they felt they haven't experienced real love before, or at least a love that they could feel that was equally reciprocated. It's something that is undefinable, and people don't like what they don't know or what they can't define. So it's really nice that we had a chance to talk about this.
Yeah, you know what? I agree with you, Ate Jane, because you know, I I'd say that yeah, that too. Like a lot of people are shy to talk about like any love in general. Like if my dad asked me, like, because my dad is like he's weird like that. He'll say stuff like, "Oh, like, are you dating yet?" and something like that. And then it's like like reflecting on it now, yeah, it is an intimidating question because a lot of people don't want to talk about it, and a lot of people take love or like essentially the idea of love in like just a one way. Like you have to understand that love is not only about uh other forms or like I mean love is not only like one form, like let's say partner love. It's also it takes forms in like like what Bara said, just giving time to people to listen or to talk to them. That's like essentially kind of love in an aspect, you know.
Yeah, thank you, Gab, Jane, and especially Bara. Right, so just know too, it's not only like we're very happy to hear that, but it's like very humbling, right? And if anything too, it's really not like um it's not what we like. It doesn't belong like to us. Like any of like the praise or like any of like the acknowledgement doesn't belong to us, but it always goes like to keepers, right? So we're really happy for you to say that. And if anything too, I just must add that it's no accident that you were able to join this podcast then, right? It's no accident for any of us here, to really come across Keepers Club, to join the podcast, to be invited, right? So we're really happy for you to join, and just know too that we're just doing our part to share. And like I said, because this is not any of our podcasts, but it really is like the clubs, right? So we really thank the founding president, all the keepers tuning in as well, all the keepers that have like made this podcast possible. And just know too that like all of us, we're all keepers. We're all keepers, right? And then it's also up to us if we're willing to attend, to keep growing as a keeper, and to really use our choice as well um, to learn more, right? Because we're always students, right? No one's ever really a master. It's always just students that can always learn something new, right? Things to be reminded of as well, right? So, um, with that being said, also just know too that everything that we say, everything that we're like preaching, right? It's not, um, it really, it really is an opportunity for us to prove it as well, right? We don't want to be hypocrites either. We don't want to just say something and then do the opposite. So it really is a test for everyone really reflecting, like even myself, right? For everything that I'm saying, I really have to prove it. I have to walk the walk in it, right? Um, that goes for a lot of things, right? Anything that we say, anything that we pray for, anything that we really hope for, right? Um, and if anything too, like everyone has experience. It's safe to say, right? Everyone, if you felt love before, then it's like you know our Creator, because He's love, right? So, with that being said, anyone else, like almost final opportunity for any of the keepers who haven't responded, also the new faces, maybe if you want to answer, or maybe like give your reflection so far of how the podcast is treating you so far. um especially those if you have your video on, or maybe even keeper Tabby, keeper Joseph, keeper Hannah, keeper Frank, Patricia, Cass, right? So, unless I should just move on, but let me know, because um, so nice seeing everyone, and especially to hear everyone. So go keepers, share your answers. All right, so I'll be jumping on to the next slide, or moving on to the next slide. But once again, too, it's really nice seeing everyone, right? And then we wish you could have like more time for everyone to answer. But just know too, keep in mind, right? These are some things to remember. So it's also like a wrap up of the things that we've all discussed. Once again, all we need is love. Another thing is really a choice to really share love, to continue to give love, to receive love, where we're willing to put our love, right? Another thing is to be careful. Careful also where you really spend all of your energy in loving something, right? Because what if that love betrays you? Are you gonna continue, or are you gonna give up? Right? And if anything too, once again, to be careful, because just make sure that you love yourself also. You can't give what you don't have. You can't give love to someone if you don't love yourself. Just like you can't give for example, you can't give like relationship advice if you've never been in a relationship. That's just one of the many examples, right? But it really is like um it really is based on experience. Whether you're as young as Isaac and Isaiah, really it's never about age. It's really about experience, right? So that's something too that really helps us mature, and once again practice what we preach. So we also just want to put in this quote from our founding president: love is the only commodity that will last forever. All we need is love. Right? So this kind of looks like the um yeah, we'll get this in the end. But really quick, for anyone else, once again, Bara, just know too, Bara and like Tabby also, a lot of them mentioned you guys. They're like, how's the podcast? How's those keepers that always join, like Bara and Tabby? Right? So we actually had a trip in California. First time for a lot of us to meet one another. Even myself, actually, like I've never got to meet them like in person. So these are some photos. But with that being said, with anyone really brief, anyone want to share their experience, and especially as to why they hope keepers, mighty keepers, here in the United States can join someday soon. right? Maybe your experience, general experience, something memorable, why you want other keepers to join next time once again, and maybe a touching remark.
I just want to say that my experience from like last week or the like I got to meet Calvin and Eric and some of the others for the first time. And like seeing them in person rather than seeing them on just like a screen, like it's really nice. And also like I feel like when you talk to people online, you're not as open, or you can't be as like you're not as honest as you want to be. I feel like me and Calvin got to like I don't know, we got to, I guess you could say, fellowship a lot. And like it really helped me, I'd say, like mentally. And like yeah.
Hey, Gab, what's your definition of fellowship, by the way? Like for those who are like, what's fellowship?
Okay, so I'd say fellowship is, I'd say, because when you have a conversation with someone, your conversation can be random. It could be about like, oh, I love video games. But I feel like with fellowshipping, you're like learning something, or you're spreading like a form of enlightenment or knowledge to one another, you know? And by like fellowshipping, you're like giving knowledge, and you're giving like, I'd say, giving your advice, or basically something to help benefit each other that would, you know, be helpful to you. Like, and I would just say that our fellowship here, Calvin, and it's it was really helpful for me. And you know, I just want to say thank you also. And, and that's it. That's all I wanted to say.
I agree.
Hey, go Joseph. Hey, wait. I'm really glad for you to say that, Gab. And likewise, I'll see you soon though. And then for anyone else, especially if you haven't answered or said anything, we'd love, especially if you attended. Like, What would you want to say to like keeper Bar or keeper Tabitha that have like been keepers for like the longest time, and they've always been joining, and that one day maybe they'll get to meet other keepers in the United States, not only through a Zoom, not only through a computer screen, but right. Oh, go ahead. This man. Close enough, but go, Hannah.
It was a very fun experience to meet everyone there, and it was like really fun, and I already miss all of you guys. I wish we could go back from last week. It's a great experience, and I hope to see you guys next year and the other new keepers here, because it was really fun to experience everyone.
Yeah, go Hannah. And nice outfits always, Han. But just know too that like you really never know, guys. I really mean that, because I remember first time I was invited to Keepers Club. A couple weeks later, they're like, "Hey, you want to go to California?" I was like, "No, I don't know you guys, right?" But look, 4 years later, it's like one of like the most memorable experiences. Right? So you never know, and just know too that like all the keepers, guys, they're always praying for us. Whether we've chose to like grow a little, or to to really be keepers, but just know that we're really happy. We're always thinking of you guys, you can say, morning and night. And anyone else, like really anyone like who's been in this podcast, who went to California, how about you? Yeah, go Alex.
Huh? So back then, when I was there were other YP before like this generation. I was
Young
never
people.
really close to them. Yeah, they were young people. But they've all left. They've all left the kingdom. Not all of them, but some of them, most of them. And I wasn't really close to all of them. But with this new YP, this whole generation, I'm much more closer to them. much closer to like everyone. So seeing everyone like
Wow.
together, it's really nice. It's like you're like really close to everyone, and I'm much closer to everyone now. Back then, because I didn't attend much, even if I was in the kingdom, I didn't talk to much people. I didn't talk to Bria Calvin or Eric or even the white piece from Virginia or Nashville. I never talked to them that much. But now we're all closer. And I'm very blessed. Thank you. That's it.
Yeah,
Wow.
Alex. And maybe a little clarification too. Just know too, it's like we're all keepers, right? So it's like we're bonded already. Like bonded with like the DNA of like a keeper, right? We haven't met each other, but it's like as soon as we meet, it's like, wow, hey, you're a keeper too. Like it's like we've known each other forever, right? Um, anyone else? Thank you too, Alex. Who's raising their hands? Is that
Hey,
Joseph? Go, Joseph.
um, for like the experience that I had, like, uh, at LA when we're at LA, and when we're introducing like at the cathedral, everyone, all the YPs. At first, I felt shy, but I get to, overcome my shyness, and every time when I talk to them, I'm like, I'm not shy no more, and then I get to like fellowship with them, talk about a lot of stuff, especially Josh, because having like other like trombone player, because I thought I was gonna be the only trombone, and when I saw like there was like a lot of saxophones, especially like three clarinets, I was like, oh, but we still managed, to make it work, and um, I'm so glad that I meet like all different YPs from different KLCs. It was like a really, really fun, even though like I already missed all of you guys when I got home, and when we went to Disneyland. That was really fun. Even though I didn't get to like ride a lot of rides, I, I at least I still ride some rides, like about 3 to 4. But um, for all like the new YPs here that all around the world, like feel free to you know share your experience or how you got to the kingdom, because you gotta express yourself more so that you can get to get to know each and everyone, to like get close to them and talk more, and especially like when we see each other next year or next time, that we will have like a lot of stuff in common to talk about or to do, and yeah, that's it.
Go, Joseph. Thank you for sharing. And you're right too. Until next time, it might be sooner than we thought. Maybe with the keepers here, right? How about you, Frank?
Uh, like something to share.
How was the meeting the other keepers all together in LA? And
Oh,
then
like
also in
uh,
hopes of what you want to say to the keepers in this podcast that they'll get to
oh,
join next time. Sooner enough, we
okay,
never know.
yeah, yeah. Like what Alex said, like before, like we're not really close to the other YPs, and then when we all get together, we found love, like because not because love means sacrifice, right? Like sleeping at 4 a.m. just to uh, call each other, like that's a great sacrifice. But because we like uh what you like the friendship love, like you give effort, like me, especially me, like I just experienced like instead of watching YouTube, I'm chatting in the messenger a lot more than like uh like instead of uh like instead of browsing in the YouTube or in social media. Like I like more. I want to chat more in the messenger than my past time before. Like you will see how the YP now is more active than before, and then like and then to all of you that I didn't meet yet, don't worry, we might see each other like soon. The father. That's it.
Yes, sir. You're right. We'll claim it too. We'll really claim it because, right? Like in anything, though, you say it, and then it can manifest, right? That's why we really prevent any negativity, but any like positivity, right? So like without us knowing it, we have faith that will drive safe. We have faith that our our loved ones doesn't die randomly, for example, right? So that's just an example. We just have faith that we'll get to see you guys. We'll all get to gather. You get to meet all the keepers, and on my part too, it's like it's it's so nice, so nice finally meeting the other keepers, guys. Like just like Alex was saying, I think it was Alex, but even in like Keepers Club Chicago, right? It used to be like 20, 30, 40 people on a good day, right? And then look, when the podcast hit, there's only like 2, 3 people willing to join the podcast, right? So just know too, it's like you guys are like the loyal keepers, right? So we thank you guys for that, and just know too, it's like it's really like our recharging also for like our it's like a recharging, guys. It's like a spiritual recharging almost to like keep going, to be strong no matter where we are. And um that's also something too that really made us establish Keepers Club Chicago. last trip i last trip I got so like inspired, motivated to establish what I thought was impossible, like to establish Keepers Club in Chicago. Look where we are now, right? And it's not it's really not just it's not me, it's just me being used, right? And with that being said, I know that I can easily be replaced by someone who's willing to do it 10 times better, right? So it really is humbling to finally meet one another, to have a podcast, to have Keepers Club, not only here in Chicago, but to see all the loyal keepers, the strong keepers that have been there since like day one, right? So we can only just hope that we can continue to do so. Um, and even if we're not together physically, we're really happy to see one another um, through Zoom, right? It's like we're together, but like it really is the spirit, you can say, right? um so any final thoughts from anyone else that attended, or even from the keepers, keeper Cast, keeper Patricia, keeper Bara, keeper Tabby? Anything you wanna like anything you'd like to say? But as I share the screen, it's so nice seeing everyone. They really have a job also, like a job that they're willing to do like voluntarily. Like one thing mine is like to really just coordinate with this podcast, right? But you see the other keepers, they're awesome in editing, they're awesome in music, they're awesome in fellowship, right? And they too are humble. They don't say like, oh, it's all because of me. No, they really give credit to where it's due. So it's so nice to see them. And then once again, we'll pray too. We'll pray, we'll hope, we'll have faith that we'll all get to gather, right? And we'll even in our respective states, we'll get to have more gatherings. Hopefully no more COVID, no more infections, right? Well, once again, just know that we hope you all enjoy. To all the viewers that have listened, that have checked out this podcast episode, um see you next episode. Also, we'll talk about hopefully the dangers of love. So it'll really be a little more deeper and really more like critical thinking
The
of
seven dangerous.
the 7 dangers. Thank you, Kuya. The 7 dangers of love. So it'll be another interesting topic. And with that being said,
The
so
seven dangerous love affairs.
what was it, Kuya?
7 dangerous love affairs.
7 dangerous love affairs. Okay, copy ya. Thank you, Kuya. So with that being said, share gallery, and thank you to all the keepers that have joined this podcast. We hope you enjoy. Kindly wave, and it's so nice seeing you all. What a nice episode! It's like a good problem too. It's like even though we're not able to all share, it's like nice seeing everyone, right? So, any absolute last final memorable, heartwarming thoughts before we end this episode or we stop recording at least, right? So, especially anyone who hasn't said anything or your reflection on the podcast.
Um,
Don't
just
hear
one more
us.
thing.
Yes, Joseph.
So for
Umabot kayo dito?
hi
Grabe.
guys.
Go Virginia! Woo!
So like
Ah,
for you don't have to be shy. Well, I get it if you like, if you're shy, you don't want to talk to like or say anything, you could just, type in the chat. You don't have to, use your mic or so that it'll be easy for you to, communicate more so that when you get to, get used to it every day, and then you'll eventually use your mind because you before like all like when I came to the kingdom, I was so shy and I didn't want to get added to the group chat. I didn't want to show my face. I don't want to use like my voice, so I just mute myself every single time. But when I when I feel the love of every Ates and Kuyas and all the YPs all around the world, it's like you don't you don't have to just be shy all the time. You could just express yourself to your Ates and Kuyas because that's what I usually do. Like I talk to the Ates and Kuyas and they're the one who made me you know be active all day. Since I'm the only active youth in SF of San Francisco. Um,
You're
yeah,
right. And
just
really quick, Kuyas and Ates is like
continue
older brother,
your
older
journey.
sister, and like respect,
Yeah,
so
older, yeah, for
but
respect. But yeah, you just like chat in the box or so you don't have to use your mic or yeah, that's it.
thank you,
Thank
Joseph.
you.
Thumbs up. While Virginia and Texas are on the screen, can we all take a picture before we actually end? I almost forgot. So we'll do like one normal one, smiling, and then keepers. But we love to see your beautiful faces and take also like a safekeeping photo to be like, wow, what an awesome episode. And just know, everyone, we're so happy, thankful that you're able to join. And go Keepers Club podcast all there in the United States. So let's take a picture and I'll screen record and post it via Facebook and YouTube. So, okay, I'll screenshot it then. 3, 2, 1. All right, let's do keeper sign also. It's like a K and then your thumb, I think, but I'm pretty sure. So, all right. 3, 2, 1. Kindly wave to all the viewers. Thank you for watching and go keepers. I'm gonna stop recording, but be safe everyone. So Go Keepers podcast. Hope you enjoyed.
Bye,
Let's
everyone.
go.
Have a
And
good
lots
day.
of love.
Bye.
How do you do the keeper son?
Bye,
Hey,
everyone. See you next time.